We live in a world that feels completely wireless, right? We talk about the cloud, we stream stuff from anywhere, our data just seems to float in the air all around us. But honestly, that's all just one big illusion. Our entire digital life, our entire global economy, is built on a very physical foundation of glass fibers that are just lying on the ocean floor. And that foundation, it is starting to crack. So let's pull back the curtain on this invisible crisis that's happening right now deep beneath the waves. And this quote from a post that went viral just nails it, doesn't it? We spend billions and billions of dollars defending ourselves from digital threats, hackers, malware, all that stuff. But the single greatest vulnerability to our connected world might not be some sophisticated piece of code. It might just be a ship's anchor dragged on purpose. Or even a simple cutting tool. It's a brutally physical threat to our very digital lives. And this number right here is exactly why this matters so much. 99%. That's how much of all international internet traffic travels through these physical undersea cables. And we're not just talking about your social media feed. Over $10 trillion in financial transactions, everything from global banking to crypto, relies on these cables every single day. I mean, the world's economy is literally running on these wires. And look, this isn't some hypothetical problem for the future. It is happening right now. In the Red Sea, you've got attacks disrupting a huge chunk of data traffic between Europe and Asia. Then, up in the Baltic, a key cable was just severed, and all the evidence points towards a Russian ship. And near Taiwan, a damaged cable has sparked very real fears of a deliberate attempt to cut the island off from the world. This is a global pattern, and these incidents are escalating. So to really understand the threat, we first need to get a grip on the incredible infrastructure that's at risk. Let's take a look at the planet's hidden nervous system. So what are we talking about exactly? Well, we're talking about a network of about 600 submarine cables stretching for 1.4 million kilometers. That is enough wire to circle the Earth more than 35 times. It's this vast hidden mesh that connects every single one of us. And let's put that $10 trillion a day into perspective for a second. This isn't just big banks trading stocks. No, this is the invisible engine of the entire global consumer economy. Every time you buy something online from another country, every single international business deal, it's all powered by pulses of light moving through these glass fibers on the ocean floor. So here's the bottom line. Basically, everything you do online, from a simple video call with your family, all the way up to these super complex AI models being developed in the cloud, it all relies on this technology. It's this massive, globe-spanning system that is, at its core, physical, vulnerable, and has been around for decades. Okay, so we understand the stakes. Now let's look at the actual gathering storm of threats, because the dangers are multiplying, and they're getting more serious. This table breaks it down perfectly. Historically, the biggest danger has always been accidental stuff. Fishing trawlers, ship anchors. That accounts for about 60% of all the faults. But look at that bottom row, deliberate sabotage. That's the category that has security experts around the world really, really concerned.
And this isn't just speculation. Get this. Back in 2020, a Chinese university actually filed a patent for a device specifically designed to cut undersea cables. The patent application, and this is pretty chilling, states it's for use in emergency situations. The tools for this kind of sabotage aren't just concepts. They are actively being engineered.
This really is the new front line. Russia has been seen increasing its naval activity near critical cable routes. And as one Irish military officer put it, these exercises send a clear message. They can cut them anytime they want. This is what experts call hybrid warfare, actions that cause significant damage but stay just below the line of a formal act of war, which makes them incredibly hard to pin on someone and even harder to respond to. Okay, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking right now. We have satellites, right? We've got Starlink. Can't we just switch over to that if the cables get cut? Well, let me tell you, the answer to that is a hard no. And this chart shows you exactly why. Just look at the insane difference in capacity. Cables can handle terabits per second, while satellites are down in the gigabit range. We're talking about a 1,000-fold difference. It's like comparing a fire hose to a garden hose. And that's exactly why satellites, as cool as they are, carry just 1% of our global traffic. They're a nice little add-on, not a replacement. And don't just take my word for it. As the expert Victor Katuk states pretty plainly here, it is simply impossible to move that kind of data volume through the air. He says that if the cable network were to suffer a major coordinated attack, a collapse is possible. There is no plan B for the amount of data our modern world runs on. Period.
Okay, and this brings us to the most alarming part of this whole situation. All of these threats are now converging on just a few key geographical choke points, creating what is essentially a digital kill switch for the entire global economy. I mean, just look at this. You've got 17 critical cables, carrying almost a third of all the data that travels between continents, all funneled through the tiny waterways of the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. And for the first time in history, both of these choke points are active war zones at the same time. This isn't just a vulnerability anymore. It's a catastrophic single point of failure for the entire global internet. And if you think this is all just a what-if scenario, think again. The digital war has already started. In a shocking event that was really underreported, Iranian drones have already successfully struck 3 Amazon Web Services data centers in the region. These attacks prove that cloud infrastructure is now considered a legitimate military target. And the fallout is happening right now. The big tech giants are pulling back. Meta's massive 2 Africa Pearls cable project, we're talking a billion-dollar investment, has declared force majeure. That's basically a legal term for when an unforeseeable disaster stops a project cold. Construction in the Persian Gulf is now halted indefinitely. The very investment we need to make things more secure is being frozen by the conflict. This whole crisis is already creating clear winners and losers. You can see it right here in this vulnerability index. Nations like the UAE and Bahrain, with really high scores for both cable dependence and data center exposure, they are now extremely vulnerable. But then look at Saudi Arabia. With a much lower score, it's actually in a better position. The Gulf's $18 billion dream of becoming a global AI hub is now, well, it's hanging by a thread.
So, all of this leaves us with a really critical question. We talk about the cloud as if it's this weightless, ethereal, indestructible thing. But what if it's not? What if our entire digital world rests on a very physical foundation of glass and steel that is far more fragile, far more contested, and far more vulnerable than any of us ever imagined?